Welcome back to Eight Timey Wimey Pod, where we watch every episode of Doctor Who from 2005 onwards. My name's Rebecca.
I'm Haley.
And today we are discussing Series 4, Episode 3, Planet of the Ood.
It is actually so crazy that after this episode, we will be talking about the Sontaran two-parter, and then we will be talking about the brand new season of Doctor Who and having a pause on Series 4.
I can't believe it. Are you ready for some fantastic facts?
Yes, I am.
So this episode aired April 19th, Tortured Poets Department, in 2008. It was written by Keith Temple, which I thought was kind of funny because Sean Temple, Donna Noble Temple, Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is his only episode that he ever did.
Did he write for Torchwood or any other shows, or literally just this?
He did a novelization, and that's it.
That's actually crazy.
I know. And it was directed by Graham Harper. Classic.
Such a king.
Yeah. So in this episode, when they get to the planet, the Doctor is all excited to see real snow. However, it was not real snow because they filmed this in August. And it was actually shredded paper, which just sounds miserable. That sounds so disgusting. Imagine hot shredded paper everywhere.
No, I'm picturing walking around in the heat of summer and having shredded pieces of paper fall on me, and I have to pretend that it's cold and that it's snow.
And poor Catherine Tate had to wear that giant coat in the middle of August.
Yeah.
This entire episode. No.
Mm-mm.
So after the Satan Pit, Russell wanted to bring back the Ood for a while. He almost brought them back in 42, as we discussed. And he really wanted to explore the history of the Ood. And they almost made this a two-parter, which is really funny because for a while I had it in my head that this was a two-parter. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you said that. I have no idea why, especially because the next episodes are a two-parter, but I really thought this was for a while.
Me too. I don't know what went into that.
Mandela effect.
Truly.
Okay. I have been waiting hours to share this next fact.
Oh my gosh.
According to TARDIS Wiki, Ida Scott was going to be in this episode. Ida Scott from The Impossible Planet and Satan Pit.
What? Huh?
Mm-hmm. She was going to be part of the team investigating the conditions of the Ood sphere because her estranged father was involved in Ood operations, but it was going to be revealed that he was actually acting on behalf of the Ood.
Where was she? What happened to her? Why did she not become a part of this episode?
I don't know. I couldn't find any information as to why that didn't happen. I'm sure scheduling conflicts or they just kind of scrapped the idea, but honestly, it's so sad. And
that would have ate.
It really would have. And it makes me so sad because last time we see Ida Scott, the Doctor even says, see you around sometime. And then we never saw her again.
The amount of people, by the way, that happens to where the Doctor's like, I'll see you again, or I'll see you, in my future, your past, and we never see it, is astounding.
Yeah, I feel like Ida's is the most offensive. It is. Because they really make you think we're going to see her again, and then we don't.
Yeah.
I believe there's some Big Finish stuff, but that's not the same.
No, it's not.
And it would have been so interesting to meet her father and figure out what that whole relationship was like, because it was definitely hinted at in that two-parter. And yeah, it would have just made this episode even better. But oh well.
Now I'm just sad thinking about that.
I know, me too.
What I love in this episode is that we see the continuation of Donna's compassion, which we didn't really see fully until last week's episode in the Fires of Pompeii. And I just love that we kind of see the continuation of that, of she's not You know, she's not who she was in The Runaway Bride, and
Mm-hmm.
she is not this like stagnant companion or character. Like, she very much has changed even since Partners in Crime, and her compassion is growing. She is more sympathetic to what's going on, and I just love that we see that side of her, and that she's truly a friend of the Ood in this episode. And it's just a lovely callback to when Friends of the Ood are mentioned back in the Impossible Planet two-parter, with Rose spearheading that little
Mm-hmm.
campaign.
Rose was Friends of the Ood before Friends of the Ood. She was day one.
Mm-hmm.
She clocked
Yeah,
that there were issues before anyone else did.
exactly. Exactly. And because Donna Noble herself is so iconic, she followed Rose's lead, not even knowing she
Mm-hmm.
was.
Exactly. Yeah, Donna, I said this last week, but she feels so deeply for the creatures and people around her, and it's what makes her such a
Mm-hmm.
great character. I jumping ahead a lot, but I absolutely love that scene where the doctor, lets her hear the song and it really moves her to tears and she physically can't take it and she just really really feels for them and really feels for their pain and spends the episode defending them and trying to help them. And even just in the first scene where they find the Ood in the snow, she's there for them and she's trying to help. And it's a little awkward at first, she's like doesn't know what to do, but she just really cares and feels so deeply. And it's what makes her such a great character.
Absolutely.
I love the TARDIS scene at the beginning of this episode
Mm-hmm.
where they're just tossing around the TARDIS and then they're just excited about seeing a brand new planet. And Donna's like, "Oh, really? After all this time, like, you still get excited?" And the doctor's like, "Yeah, like, why do you think I still do it?" And I just love that moment between them.
It's such a great moment, and they're so cute together, both being so excited. And I love their little back and forth when they're outside of the TARDIS and it's snowing. And when Donna goes back in the TARDIS as Tin is talking and just grabs the coat, it's just so them and so funny. And I love how she rags on about the TARDIS to Tin,
Mm-hmm.
pointing out the rocket, being like, now that's a proper spaceship.
Yeah.
Just their banter is iconic.
Mm-hmm. She's also so me because as soon as she steps outside and she's like, "Oh, it's cold," she like goes back and gets a jacket. That's just so
Mm-hmm.
real because I would also be like, "Oh, actually, I don't like this. It's too cold for me." We have a lot of there is just all the humans in this episode are terrible. All the people are terrible. They're all bad except
Mm-hmm.
for that one guy who you find out was infiltrating the company for 10 years. I forget his name, but shout out to him. But besides him, all the people in this episode absolutely suck. And like the main kind of villain is Mr. Halpin, who's running this whole company. What do you think about him as a villain?
I mean, he's your classic, truly evil and barbaric villain. He is just an awful man who deserved the end he got and deserved way worse, honestly. And he was insanely cruel to the Ood, and him just like forcing them to be slaves, abusing them, and basically lobotomizing their second brain, which is so
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Because we get more of the Ood backstory in this episode. So overall, I hate him.
No, I completely agree. I love his ending and how he was just being slowly poisoned and slowly turned into an Ood.
Mm-hmm.
The best revenge is best served cold, and I just love that Ood Sigma gets his revenge. It's so iconic. And yeah, he's such a crazy guy, crazy villain. I always do find it interesting the scene where he tells Ood Sigma to go, like be with the other Ood. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's just crazy villain. I also have major beef with Solana, their like PR
Yes.
person. She she is honestly just the way like the doctor directly asks her for help and she kind of, you can kind of see like she knows he can help because she tells him where to go, and then she still rats them out. It's like, for what?
Literally, like when I first saw this episode, I expected her to be one of the good guy, not like good guys, but like someone who would change their ways, and that she would, like, go with the doctor and be like, actually everything I've done is wrong, and like how can I repay all that I've done. Like I thought it would be one of those character situations, but it was the complete opposite, and maybe that was the point. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
the point of her character was to show that, like, not every situation has someone who's willing to turn from their ways. But yeah, I have a major beef with her too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And she's so smart too. Like, she thinks so quickly every time the alarms go off. She's like, oh, it's just a fire drill, or oh, it's just the end of the work shift. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
we know you're smarter than this, girl. Like, what are you doing? Also, can we talk about I forget his name. I don't know if he had one, but the absolute like psychopathic commander guy who chases 10 with the claw and is like, I've always wanted to do this. Who thinks like that? That man is a psychopath. That man is scary.
He is so unhinged. Like, sir, this is not an arcade. Sit down. Why are you chasing a man with a claw?
Yeah, it's things like that. And there's a couple like one off lines that really show you how insane this whole situation with the Ood are. Like, they mention
Mm-hmm.
breeding farms at one point.
Yeah.
Hello? Excuse me? And the fact that they were just gonna gas all the Ood, and he's like, that's what they did in the olden days. Like,
Uh-huh.
excuse me?
And
Excuse
he
me?
and he also said that he would just, like, basically write them off and the
Yeah,
insurance would cover it.
insurance
Like,
would cover
what?
it. Yeah, it's like this whole situation is so dark and crazy. I love how an aspect of this episode is how the doctor kind of has to confront the fact that the last time he met the Ood, he didn't help them. He wasn't able to save them. And he also didn't really clock how bad things were happening and didn't really look into the fact that they're this entire enslaved race. And to, like he said, like he tells Donna, he was busy. He literally spent half that story in a pit. But yeah, I think it is really interesting where he has to kind of confront a past mistake and how he really overlooked them before.
Yeah, I really like that aspect as well. I can't remember. It feels like so long ago. I can't remember what we even said back in that episode. But I do remember, like, every time I watch the Impossible Planet two-parter, I always get so sad about the Ood and how they're kind of
Mm-hmm.
just like not at the forefront of anyone's mind. And so I like that he made that point to say that and to, like, really investigate all of this. And Donna really points out the origin of the issue with the Ood being enslaved. They didn't start out like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, who is creating them to be these indentured servants? Like, they're not going to continue to exist and grow in that way. Someone has to be creating that. And her saying that really leads to 10 investigating more. And they find out the thing in their hands isn't a communication device. It never was meant to be that. They literally had a second brain in their
Mm-hmm.
hand. And what this company would do is that, I can't remember the name of the company, but what they would do is they would basically lobotomize them, take away the
Yeah,
brain, put a communication ball thing instead, and it is just so incredibly barbaric.
it's insane. I love how Donna calls them out for this, and they're like, of course they're going to trust anyone that comes along. They're born with their brains in their hands. Like,
Yeah.
they're vulnerable. Of course they're gonna trust, and they're literally lobotomizing them. It's insane. I love how the doctor says that, he owes them one and he has to make up for it. I also love when at the beginning how the doctor mentions that he saw them before and that it's a long story, and Donna's like, well, just tell me, and he's like, well, I was dealing with the devil, and she's like, well, if you're not going to be honest. And she just doesn't believe
Yeah.
him, and it's really funny.
I also think it's so funny that towards the beginning of this episode, when Donna like nudges the Ood to find out more information, the Ood calls her Miss Noble, and Donna's like, "Why'd you say Miss? Do I look single?"
Do I
And
look
Jenna's like,
single?
"Sit down, Donna. Sit down."
I also love how Solana thinks they're married. People always think they're married. It's one of the best bits in this season. I think it's really
Yes,
funny.
and they're like, "No, never ever, not in a million years."
Yeah. Can we talk about how great Catherine Tate's hair looks in this episode?
Oh, it's spectacular. I love her hair so much in this episode.
It looks great. I just wish her outfit was anything more than just a big puffy coat. I said this last
Yeah.
week, but they really just did not know what to do with her in the wardrobe department. And that's so clear here, where they just put her in a giant puffy coat.
I feel like after Rose left, there was no true direction for companion fashion, and maybe that was their way of showing they were mourning Rose Tyler. I don't know, but they did Martha Jones dirty and they did Donna Noble dirty, and I'm not afraid to say that.
I feel like we don't really get great iconic companion outfits again until Clara. Like Amy has some good looks,
I would
but
disagree. Amy has great looks, in my opinion.
I mean, maybe I'll change my mind when we get there, but I feel like a lot of her stuff is all like the same or just nothing like that iconic. To me, it's really not till we get to Clara where we get iconic looks again. But maybe I'll eat my words when we get to Amy.
I mean, Clara does have iconic outfits. Okay, we can't go there yet. We're not in the Moffat era.
Save it, save it. Another crazy thing about this whole situation with the Ood is you find out they've like customized the Ood, and what just absolutely disgusts me is the Ood with like the sultry woman's voice for the men, quote unquote. That just absolutely disgusts me and is so dystopian and horrifying. And you can just picture the kind of creepy men with this, like, who purposely get the Ood with the sultry woman's voice. And it's horrifying.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, no, it's horrifying. I love when they're looking at the map of basically like the solar system or the empire, whatever you want to call it. And I love how Donna says, like, are we traveling or are we just a virus going out into the universe? And the doctor even says, like, sometimes I wonder. And I really like that line because it is interesting, this show, to see glimpse of what human life is like once we get out there and we are on other planets and with other species. And this is an episode where we see kind of what happens when we do get out there. And yeah, she's not wrong. Like sometimes it is a virus.
Her saying this line really is reminiscent, in my opinion, to something somewhat similar that 15 says all the way back. Oh my gosh.
All the way back.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Actually, in the future of the show, okay, the 15th Doctor's first season, okay, the finale of, I forget which part it was, but he said something to the effect of just like realizing his impact, that he brought death and destruction everywhere he went. And I don't know, it was just Donna saying that line about potentially being a virus really made me think of like the line that 15 says. And I know there's many years between the series, but the same sentiment is, it's interesting to think about, like you said.
Yeah. And just remember, every single episode that we're watching, Sutek is there, I guess. And he's been there.
Don't even get me started. Do not even get me started.
Yeah, I know. We gotta move on. I really like the scene between the Doctor and Donna where, you know, Donna's realizing like this is slavery. Like they aren't just like helpful creatures wanting to serve. Like this is slavery. And the Doctor's like, oh, it's not that different from your time. Who do you think made your clothes? And I love how she kind of calls him out and is like, oh, is that why you do this? To make cheap shots and show people? It's such a great line because, like, the doctor's right. Like, there is problems with that, and there is like slave labor and clothing factories and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But someone like Donna has no control over that whatsoever. Like, we, unfortunately, the way our society is set up, we have no control over those situations, and it's these giant companies, like whatever this company in this episode is called, who are doing that, and we have no, unfortunately, no real power to stop it. And you can't just not have clothes, I guess. But yeah, so I like how, the doctor says that line, really bringing it into perspective, but then Donna still calls him out on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Talking again about the scene where Ten helps Donna be able to hear the ood singing.
Mhm.
This is a moment in this episode and in this series that always is so emotional to me, because we
Yeah.
just have this moment, we're just hearing this beautiful song and realizing just how cruel the universe can be. I love what Donna says. She tells Ten that I spent all that time looking for you, doctor. I guess I thought it was so wonderful out here, but I want to go home. And I've seen people criticize Donna over the years for saying that line. But honestly, I understand where she's coming from, because for the first time from her POV, she's experiencing for the first time how cruel things can be. And I don't know what I'm trying to get at.
I no, I get what you mean, because she's really seeing, she waited all this time and she wanted to travel and see all these great things. But this is the moment where she realizes the consequences that also come with traveling with the doctor. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, there's moments like this. And I think it's so valid for her to say she wants to go home. I think anyone would have that kind of moment. And I think all the
Yeah.
companions have kind of a mini crash out on, like, either their first adventure or, one of their first adventures. I remember Rose and Martha both having moments where they're like, "Oh, I just kind of hopped in the TARDIS and didn't really give it a second thought, and now I'm here light years away from home. That's kind of crazy." So this is just her having that moment, and of course she was going to have it. And like I said, she just feels for people and the creatures around her so deeply, so of course this is going to really affect her. And it's hard to see things like this. Like, I don't think any of us would really be able to handle it.
Precisely. Thank you for like wording it a lot more eloquently than I was.
Speaking, even though we weren't speaking, but previously we mentioned Shuti Gadwa. Speaking of Shuti Gadwa, we get a Houdini reference in this episode.
Yes, we do. It's brief, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're handcuffed, and Donna's like, "You must have met Houdini," and the doctor says, "These are really good handcuffs." And Donna says, "Well, at least we got quality," which is just, the dialogue in this episode between them is great. The dialogue in general
Mm-hmm.
between them is just always fantastic.
I love it so much. And I also love, like, right before they're caught again, like before they're caught, Ten just like taunts the security, being like,
Oh,
"What are you gonna do? Lock me in a cage?" Too late. It's just an amazing level of petty, and it's so funny.
oh, it's so funny. No, that's such a great scene. And then it cuts to them just getting handcuffed. I love it.
Yeah. What I love even more is the scene where they're trying to break out of the handcuffs and the ood with the
Mm.
red eyes are coming towards them. And Ten and Donna are just saying, "Dr. Donna friend, Dr. Donna friend," over and over.
The circle must
And
be broken. The circle must be
mm-hmm,
broken.
mm-hmm. And then the ood stop, the red eyes go away, and they register that the Dr. Donna are friends of the ood. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just an iconic scene, an iconic moment, and it lives rent free in my mind.
No, I love that too. And I love how it connects to the moment earlier in the episode where they find the Ood in the cages with their brains in their hands, and they're like, Dr. Donna friend, like it's okay, and they
Yeah.
show them what's in their hands.
So
It's so
good.
good. No, I love that moment.
Okay, finding out that there's like a gigantic shared brain between the Ood came out of left field for
Yeah.
me. Kind of crazy.
I do,
What are your
I'll
thoughts on
admit
it?
I don't really get that. I don't know how it works. And I'm like, what happens if something ever happens to that brain? Like, I don't know. I don't have much to say, I guess. It is kind of crazy.
It's interesting. What are your thoughts on the one guy who like infiltrated the company but was thrown into the giant brain?
I know. Rip to that man. 10
Yeah.
years. He spent 10 years, trying to do this to help the Ood, and he had to die. But at least he died kind of trying to help them, and because of him, partly because of him, the Ood did get free. But yeah, I did see when I was looking up facts for this episode that scene where he goes over the railing. They did that in one take.
Oh,
Yeah.
slay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a very sincere and serious question for you.
Okay.
What is worse to watch? The transition of Mr. Halpin into becoming an Ood, or I think his name was Dr. Constantine and the Empty Child two-parter becoming the Empty Child. Which one is worse to watch?
I still think Dr. Constantine is worse,
Yeah,
but this definitely gives flashbacks to that, and this one's
exactly.
pretty bad too, especially like the skin coming off and him becoming the Ood, and then all the
The
like
mouth.
tentacle stuff
Mhm.
coming out. It's bad. I read another thing I read
Yeah.
is that they wanted it was originally like way more graphic, but they decided it was just too much for a family friendly show. So they toned it down a lot.
I don't want to know what the non toned down version of this scene is because this was
Yeah.
traumatizing enough.
No, it's bad. And then I love how Sigma's like, he's a nude now. We'll take care of him. Like, oh, so sweet.
They literally killed him with kindness.
They really did.
Also, I'm so sorry, but like, who takes a hair tonic? Like, who drinks that?
Men need to accept going bald. Like, I'm sorry if you're a man, like, literally freaking out about going bald, and like, it's such an ick for me. It's like, just be bald. Just accept you're going bald. Embrace the baldness. Some men look great bald. It's true. Like,
Exactly.
some men really do. And it's worse when you're trying so hard to hold on to the hair when it's not going to come back, my man. It's not coming back. You are going bald. You need to shave the rest of your head. It's not a good look. You need to accept it. I love this ending where they break the circle and all the Ood are free and the red eye stops
Yeah.
and everyone can hear the song, and just also the music, so good.
It's so beautiful. I just absolutely love it, and I love the ending where the Ood are thanking the Doctor and Donna and asking if they'll stick around. And then the Ood says to Tin, "I think your song must end soon. Every song must end." Gagged.
I
I eat it
Yeah.
up.
Oh, I hate it because every time I see it, it reminds me, oh my gosh, we're gonna lose David Tennant soon. Like the regeneration is coming, and I remember seeing that for the first time and being like, oh my gosh, like the end is near. Like we're going to lose him soon. So it's always just a reminder that his regeneration is coming, and I don't like that. No, thank you. But yeah, it is a great line, great moment of foreshadowing, and I love how they say that their children's children will be singing the songs
Yes.
of the Doctor and Donna, and how they'll never forget the Doctor and Donna, and that just makes me so emotional, especially because of like what happens with Donna.
Yeah.
That no matter what, like the Ood remember her and the Doctor and are singing their songs, and oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, it is stellar. And like you, I also don't like the reminder of what's to come. That's the part of the scene that I also don't like. And it makes me sad and emo every single time I watch this. but the way the line is phrased,
Oh yeah.
it's so good. Before we kind of end talking about this episode, there's a line that Donna says at the end of everything to 10 that I feel like really encapsulates what it means to be a companion to the Doctor. She tells 10 that it's weird being with you. I can't tell what's right and what's wrong anymore. And I just feel like that sums up every single companion's experience with the Doctor.
And it's always so interesting to me how the Doctor says, it's better that way. I'm like, oh, I don't know if it is, though, because that just leads to, I have so much to say, but saving it for Journey's End. Yeah, it leads to some interesting positions and where the companions are put in really hard situations and are forced to make really tough choices because the line gets really blurry. And yeah, I don't know, it's really interesting. Who's the star of the show?
I'm gonna give it up for my boy Ood Sigma.
Yeah, the Ood, especially Ood Sigma, like I just love that he gets his revenge. It's so iconic.
Yeah.
I love that we see him again, spoilers, but
Yes.
yeah,
Same.
No, it's the Ood. The Ood are the only good creatures in this episode. All the humans suck.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is terrible, and I'm just so glad that the Ood are freed. And I want to see more Ood. Thank you.
Same. Please bring them back.
What is the heart of this episode?
I think the heart of this episode is how awful and twisted the universe and people can be to anyone or anything. But there are situations where you can do something. Like 10 was able to fix the situation. And while not everyone can fix every cruelty in the universe, in fiction or reality, I like that 10 was able to fix it in this episode.
Yeah, I agree. I also think the heart of the episode is that you should just accept that you're going bald and not try to stop it.
Yes.
Because it's inevitable and accepting it may just save your life.
Precisely.
Oh yeah, do we have any reviews from the past?
Yes, we do, and they both are from IMDb. And our first one is by the user Doctor Who Fanatic, and they wrote on April 22nd, 2008, that this is the worst episode of season 4 so far.
I feel like every time we do this segment, it's always, this is the worst episode.
Exactly.
No matter what episode it is.
Anyways, this reviewer said that this episode started out good, with the Doctor and Donna finding the dying Ood and seeing it turn red-eyed, but it went all downhill from there. The turning of the bad guy into the Ood was disgusting, and the song of the Ood had too much of a human religious element to it. And the Ood at the end saying that their children and their children's children and so forth will remember the Dr. Donna forever was just overdoing it. I think they should have left right after the Ood were saved. Also, Donna has expressed a wish to go home twice in the past 2 episodes, yet she remains. Why?
You know, some people just don't like fun and interesting stories, but as far as the Donna stuff, it's just who she is. Like, she really feels for people. Of course she's gonna have doubts and questions about going home. It's why she said no to him in the first place in The Runaway Bride. But from here, she's really heads first, all in. She even says to Martha in one of the next episodes, like, I'm going to travel with him forever.
Exactly. The last review I have is written by the user Farley Flavors 10, and they wrote their review on May 29th, 2008. And I'm going to read just a few snippets here and there from their review, but that they said that every episode that passes makes them love Donna even more because she has more heart than they ever thought she was capable of having after her debut in The Runaway Bride. It's crushing to see the unprocessed Ood in the cage cradling their secondary brains, and the doctor's description of the procedure is sickening, and Donna's reaction echoed my own. It solidifies Donna's stance in her role as a companion, how she sees the horrible things that transpire in the universe, and her reaction to it is far more real, and by the end, after all is said and done, she learns that the traditional concepts of right and wrong are warped, and that many times the enemies aren't who you think they are.
I love that. Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah.
we were just saying. And I love seeing Donna's growth as a character, and once again, just everyone having to eat their words about Catherine Tate because she's fantastic.
Yes. I love it. And I am really looking forward to talking about the first part of the Sontaran Stratagem two-parter next week. That's going to be so fun because we get to talk about Martha Jones again.
Martha's coming home, yo. She's coming home. I'm bringing you back to Earth.
As you should, Queen.
We will see you guys next week, but until then, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at timeywimeypod.
And email anything and everything to us at timeywimeypod@gmail.com and leave us a review on your podcast listening platform.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.